All right, let's talk about a huge, super expensive problem that pretty much every organization faces. Why is it that so much leadership training just fails to stick? Today, we're going to explore a framework for building leadership skills that don't just feel good for a day, but actually last for an entire career. So let me paint a picture for you, one you've probably seen before. Your company invests in this fantastic, highly rated training program. Your managers come back totally fired up, full of these incredible new ideas. But then, fast forward a month, and it's like it never even happened. What gives? Well, some industry estimates suggest that nearly 90% of new skills are forgotten within 30 days if they're not reinforced. That is just a staggering amount of wasted potential, time, and of course, money.
So in this explainer, we're going to architect a real solution. First, we'll get to the root of the problem, what we're calling the leadership forgetting curve. Then we'll set a new goal, nurturing lasting strength. From there, we'll dive into two really critical tools, a technology catalyst and a deliberate lesson plan. And finally, we'll put it all together so you can start architecting your own plan for success. Sound good? Let's go.
Okay, first up, the leadership forgetting curve. This really gets at the core challenge of what we call knowledge decay.
You can almost think of training like it has a half-life. The initial event is powerful, right? It's this huge burst of energy and insight. But without a system in place for consistent reinforcement, that knowledge just naturally decays. That's the 90% forgetting curve in action. It shows us that the real work isn't just in the learning itself. It's in actively fighting that gravitational pull back to our old habits. So if knowledge decay is the enemy, what's the antidote? Well, it's about a fundamental shift in how we think, moving from a one-time event to a sustainable development process. That brings us right to our second section, nurturing lasting strength. We really have to redefine our goal here. We're not just aiming for training anymore. We're trying to build leadership strength. And the power of this idea is right there in the definition. It's not about just knowing a skill. It's the ability to consistently apply it where it actually matters, in the workplace. And here's the most important part, sustained over time. This completely reframes the challenge. It's not about a single workshop, it's about an ongoing integrated process.
Okay, so how do we actually build that sustainable strength? This brings us to our first major tool, the technology catalyst. This is all about applying tech in smart ways to make knowledge really stick.
Look, technology is no longer just for delivering the initial training. It's the actual infrastructure for reinforcement. Think about it. Microlearning platforms can push a quick 2-minute video refresher on giving feedback right before a one-on-one. Collaborative tools like Slack or Teams can create dedicated channels for people to practice with their peers. Even simple digital nudges can remind a manager to delegate one meaningful task this week. We can even track how skills are being applied on dashboards and provide ongoing support with virtual coaching. The whole point is to use technology to weave that learning right into the daily workflow.
But of course, all this amazing technology, it's just a set of tools, right? It's pretty much useless without a strategy. And that's exactly where our fourth section comes in, designing the lesson plan, or what I like to call creating a blueprint for growth. Now, a powerful lesson plan doesn't need to be complicated, but it absolutely has to be intentional. It really just boils down to 4 clear steps. First, you've got to get laser focused. Don't just aim for something vague like better communication. Define the strength as giving clear, actionable feedback. Second, select your tool. Is a chat app the best way to practice, or maybe a project management dashboard? Third, create a schedule. This is so crucial for building a new habit. Maybe it's a 15-minute practice session every other Friday. And finally, you have to measure. How will you know if it's working? Create a simple way to track application and provide meaningful feedback. All right, let's bring this all home. It's time to put this methodology into practice and architect your very first plan. This simple table right here, this is your blueprint. Let's take an example. To build the strength of giving effective feedback, you could use a team chat app to host a bi-weekly peer practice session. Or to get better at delegating tasks, a weekly review using your existing project management dashboard could be the perfect solution. The key takeaway here is how this framework so elegantly connects a specific goal to a specific tool and, most importantly, to a recurring practical action. It makes it real. So, there you have it. We've gone from the problem of knowledge decay to a powerful, actionable framework for building skills that truly last. The goal isn't just to train leaders anymore. It's to architect a system where their strength grows continuously as a natural part of their job. Which really just leaves one final question for you to consider. When you look at your team or even yourself, what is the first leadership strength you will build to last?